creepy videos from all around the internet that you guys have sent over that are going to make us question everything. If you want your video featured on here, please make sure to add our Discord server.
This experiment will show you how they brought blood cells back to life using just sounds. I'm telling you, this is very real. Moreover, you'll see how, after putting sand on a sarcophagus, hieroglyphs started to appear as if they have their own frequency. What you're about to witness is so powerful, you'll want to start incorporating it into your life immediately. Keep watching all the way through. This video is loaded with mind-blowing experiments that are sure to astonish you. Let's begin.
My name is John Stuart Reid, and I'm an acoustic physics researcher. Pythagoras said that music could be used in place of medicine. It got my attention, and I thought there must be some experiments that could be conducted where we can carefully measure the response of music to some sort of healing situation. The first experiment that I conceived of was using blood. You take a vial of blood and you place it into an incubator with a small loudspeaker in the incubator that's feeding music to that blood. At the same time that that's happening, we have another vial of the same blood. We have a Faraday cage, which is electromagnetically screened, but it's also a very, very quiet environment. So that blood is not receiving any music, it's just receiving quiet. Amazing result.
Wow. What we've just seen is absolutely amazing. It's like a real-life example of what's said in the Bible. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21.
Hello.
The experiment we saw proves this in a big way. It was Anders Holte, known for his unique, kind of otherworldly music, whose voice re-enlivened the cells. That's mind-blowing. Of course, the point of this experiment is to showcase the power of harmonious sounds. It's not just about Anders Holte's unique ability, it's a bigger picture about good frequencies and their importance. This experiment helps us understand how vital these harmonious frequencies are. And it's not just any sound that has the power to re-enliven cells, but those that are in harmony, in tune with nature, and beneficial to our well-being. Credit for this goes to Dr. John Stuart Reid and the documentary The One Field, a film by Sippy Raz. Without this film, we might never have known about this incredible experiment. I really encourage you to watch the entire film because it's an eye-opener. You'll find links in the description. Think about it. If Anders Holte's voice, along with such beautiful and harmonious sounds, can wake up cells that were almost dead, it really makes you wonder about the music we listen to every day. Some of it is deliberately off-tune or tuned to harmful frequencies. Now,
The first thing that immediately popped in my mind was the story of David and Saul. Do y'all remember when Saul was going through and was dealing with like spirits, and the only way to get those spirits out was for David to play music, and that was the only way to get it out? And I'm bringing that up because he had brought up a quote and said that music is healing and that it has frequencies. So it literally proves to you that you have to watch and be careful with what you listen to, because they're all frequencies. So you can't say, oh, I can listen to this and I'll be fine. Oh, I can listen to this and nothing's happened to me. I wish that's how life worked, but it doesn't happen that way. So be careful what you listen to. If you want some great music to listen to, I highly recommend you listen to Sounds of Rebirth. Don't worry, I'll put the link in the description for all you guys to go check this out. And Mishpaka. Y'all want some music that's going to edify your soul and feed you and give you life, because you know life and death is in the power of the tongue, they gonna do just that.
Right now, everybody needs to stop. People don't know that.
People like McDonald's, I'm going, ah. In fact, they use downer cows. I don't know if you know what a downer cow.
What is that?
I used to work on farms in New Zealand. You know, my first business was, the modern farm system is so bad for animals, okay? That milk cow specifically, they push them so hard to produce milk, the cow just basically starts, it's almost like fainting. They can't stand up. Their bottom legs come out from under them, and you call them downer cows. So eventually you have to hit them with a bolt. And McDonald's, you're getting that downer cows.
Right, and when I found out that McDonald's have a contract with over 10,000 hospitals across the world,
why not?
I'm trying to figure out, how does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
How does that make sense, bro?
When did you ever go into a hospital to recover from anything and feel like you were better in any way in this sterile environment with these laminate floors, with these walls that look like you're actually about to be processed for a custodial sentence? Where did you ever feel?
That's why I call a hospital a house of hospitality.
Yeah.
That's what I call it, the house of hospitality. I'll make you comfortable until you die. Don't worry. I'll make you comfortable. Electric this,
There's
electric that.
nothing to worry about when you're dying, right?
You get what I'm saying?
This will freak you out. According to an online conspiracy, microwaving great value milk changes its color. I tested this by microwaving a glass for 3 minutes, and surprisingly, the color darkened. I can't confirm if this was due to the microwaving or another factor such as the glass used. Do you drink Walmart brand milk? This is concerning. I came across a meme alleging that great value chips may contain a causing ingredient, so I decided to verify if this was true.
Is it supposed to say it on there? Like, what word is he looking
I was unable to locate the exact warning sign. Have you seen this before? I discovered a suspicious box in our neighborhood, and upon opening it, I was shocked by what I found inside.
Carrots are man-made, not healthy. Spinach is acidic, this is man-made. Don't use big limes, use the small key limes. Kiwi, man-made, acidic, not natural. Strawberries, alkaline, they are red, good for the blood. Never use seedless grapes or any seedless fruit, make sure they are always seeded. Pears are natural, they are alkaline. Dates are alkaline, they are good for building muscle. Dragon fruit, this is unnatural, acidic. Pineapple does not grow on its own in the wild, it's unnatural. Parsley is alkaline, good for detoxification. Potatoes contain starch which thickens your blood, acidic. Instead, use chocho. Garlic is toxic, they used to rub their bullets in garlic oil in World War II. Turmeric is fake, this is acidic, instead use ginger. Ginger is the real turmeric. Broccoli is unnatural, this is acidic. Cucumbers, alkaline. Lettuce, this is acidic. Apples, alkaline, make sure they are not shiny because they are waxed. Big bananas, these are full of starch, acidic. Watermelon, very powerful, alkaline, make sure it's seeded. Your eyes are designed to seek colour because we have trichromatic vision. Do not fall for the trap. Consumption of acidic, unnatural foods creates an acidic environment within your body, meaning bacteria can thrive, triggering the body to produce mucus to counteract the large volume of bacteria. Mucus serves as the body's defense mechanism. However, an excess of mucus can potentially lead into diseases.
When you drink alcohol, doesn't it allow for possession?
Absolutely. Alcohol, from alcohol, it's the Arabic word, and it means flesh-eating spirit. Jinn, they say jinn will make you sin. Well, in Islam, that fiery spirit is called the jinn, J-I-N-N. People, when you drink alcohol, and you try to come up with all these reasons why you drink the alcohol, you're sabotaging yourself.
It's been proven ADHD was fueled by pharma to give kids drugs to make it easier for teachers to have like this one-size-fits-all teaching style. I've always been hyperactive, hard to focus on what the teacher was trying to tell me.
Is that just because you weren't interested though?
Yes and no. You can make any subject that's not interesting.
And so then maybe the kid doesn't have ADHD?
I think ADHD is not the problem for the person, that they claim has ADHD. It's the problem for the person that doesn't know how to reach a hyperactive person. So to expect little Bobby to learn like Melissa, well, that's not fair to Bobby if Bobby is hyperactive. That doesn't mean Bobby is not brilliant. As a matter of fact, I bet you Bobby is brilliant, and you're suppressing them to learn at the speed of everybody else. What if we taught Bobby at his speed and focused on what Bobby's really good at? Maybe Bobby's not a mathematician. Maybe he's a freaking wizard at other things. Are you labeling Bobby to be like everybody else in the class that fits into this teaching regimen? Not every kid's the same. If you're not taking the time to polish certain rocks to realize that they're diamonds, you're gonna miss out on a lot of diamonds. And I think that's what we have right now. They're medicating diamonds to be rocks instead of polishing certain rocks to be diamonds.
Okay, so this is part 2 of exposing grocery stores. So as I showed y'all before, what we do is called reworking. So we taking out the moldy stuff in here, throwing it away, and then putting it and saving some of it in here, or it go back on the floor. So, you know, you have stuff like this, nasty, moldy, throw it away, and then the rest, we put it, sometimes we put it on the floor, or we put it in this, and this becomes this. Cut up, sold for way more money. Same with the blueberries. We go through the blueberries. It's bad. This is no good. We go through it, take it out, throw it away, put it back on the floor for y'all to eat.
How do y'all feel about that? I know a couple videos back I had mentioned how I will buy like fruits, and I could add vegetables too, but it's mainly fruits. I'll buy fruits, and then the next day it already has mold, but it was doing perfectly fine in the store. Like, what is the difference between the store's light and where they have it set up versus my lighting in my kitchen and how I have the fruit set up in my refrigerator? Now it makes sense, because it's like I'm buying fruit that was already showing signs of it's going bad. So when I buy it, I only have about a couple hours, if not a few days, to eat it before they all go bad. So what I'm trying to say is that now it makes sense, because I'm really buying food that is close to expiring. And then when I get it, I have to hurry up and eat it, or I'm taking an L because I didn't get to eat it because it went bad. But how do y'all feel that y'all fruit, they'll take the bad fruit, they'll cut it up, they'll take out the bad fruit, they'll either put it back on the shelves or they'll use it in those mixed fruit bowls, if that makes sense. Somebody put in the comments, I feel like any business would do this. Food cost is way too high just to be throwing good food away. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I'm hot. Another thing I would like to add is that somebody did mention, and it resonates with me. They said, I did the same thing at home. Like, in other words, they're not about to toss out a whole container for one expired berry. Okay, I get that, because that makes sense. That's what I do. But then there was another person that said, people saying, I see nothing wrong and we do this at home, but the problem is the market isn't home. What they are doing is deceptive. There should be signs or something stating that it was tarnished fruit, and if anything, they should be marked down instead of up.
This is the winner of Eurovision 2024.
What's
Nemo,
Eurovision?
representing Switzerland, this person is also wearing a crown of thorns that was given by one of the runner-ups named Bambi Thug that represents Ireland. Now, before I show you why you don't play with God and the crown of thorns, I don't know if you know what she did for her performance. I made a whole video on it, so you can just check that out, but it was a full-on satanic ritual along with demonic possession. I mean, she literally admitted it herself. Watch this real quick.
Do you know what makes me special? I'm a queer. And I'm a witch!
Alright, sorry you had to see that, but Nemo goes up on stage and he grabs his award for getting first place in the whole contest. Once he claims it, he goes out and celebrates in front of the stage, and just look what happens. Once he places his trophy on the ground, it shatters.
Dang.
I didn't just break the code, I also broke the trophy. And I broke my thumb as well.
It's so funny, there was a movie that came out years ago called Soylent Green.
Ooh, I haven't heard that.
They didn't know what this substance was that people was eating. The government was giving it to them. There was a famine. And they didn't know what it was green. And then one guy found out, went all the way to the factory and found out it was people. Now, for some reason, we can't perceive that because our mind is not that wicked. But you don't know evil like people who are sold out to Satan. They evil, they wicked, their mind is that wicked. If you study Revelation, you see how wicked the mind of people are. And it's not just their mind. We know they're motivated by spirits to do this stuff. But this is what Satan's goal is. He hates humanity. He wants to destroy God's creation. And he wants to destroy God's creation while they are at the epitome of sin. So they'll be damned. Not only will they be destroyed, but they'll be damned to hell forever. So
forever.
The Bible says, if you don't receive this mark, you will not be able to buy or sell, so you won't be able to eat. Say eat. Now we're going to control you through making sure you eat or don't eat, right? And we're only going to have one resource that we have a lot of, because there is a famine. So what we have a lot of is people that need to be disposed of. The Bible says that people will eat their children. I'm just telling you what the Bible is saying.
That's real.
I don't own a debit card. I've never owned one. I've never allowed my 3 sons to possess one. Certainly and truly the worst financial tool ever given to the American consumer. So I use the safest form of payment that exists on the face of the earth, and that is a credit card. Every day of my life, I spend their money. I don't spend my money. I go to the dry cleaner, I give them my card. I pick up the groceries, I give them my card. I put fuel in my boat on the weekend, I use my card. I pay the marina to keep my boat in the water all year long. They put the rent on my credit card. And every day I use my card. If I pay the bill in full or part of the bill, my credit score goes up. So I'm building credit while I'm using that credit card. But if tomorrow someone gets my card number and charges $1 million on my credit card, my liability is zero. When you use your debit card, every time you reach for it, you're exposing the money in your account. The only person who's going to get robbed is you. And of course, when you use your debit card, you are liable up to a certain amount, and it takes a while in order to get that debit card fixed.
That was some free game right there. Y'all better be using credit cards. Now, I'm not saying to go use your credit card and go splurge on all these designer brands, this car, just shop till you drop. No. Let's not be delusional about what's being said. He's just saying to use credit cards over debit cards. Use their money.
Have you ever questioned why Kraft cheese doesn't actually say cheese anywhere on the package?
I never noticed.
That's because the FDA banned them from classifying themselves as cheese. Less than 50% of this is cheese. The rest is chemicals and a bunch of other toxic ingredients, terrible for your long-term health, causing high levels of inflammation. The FDA has actually recalled millions of these due to plastics found causing people to choke. So the next time you go shopping for cheese, please remember that this is not cheese and there's a bunch of other real cheeses that you should be buying instead.
In 2021, Bill Gates said all rich countries should move to 100% synthetic beef. Well, he just got one step closer to that utopian dream. On June 21st, 2023, the USDA gave the first ever approval to 2 tech food startups, Upside Foods and Good Meat, to sell test tube chicken. It's actually cultivated in steel tanks, but you get the idea. Franken chicken sandwich, anyone? Live chicken cells are nourished in a broth of nutrients, and they do what stem cells do and create progeny all over the place. And then the masses of lab-grown chicken muscle are then shaped into familiar cutlets, boneless, no doubt, and sold retail. At least one of the companies is using genetic engineering to promote continuous growth of the cells. It's a little worrying that the proprietary processes used will not be likely open to scrutiny. With the mainstream media fawning all over them, they enthusiastically claim lab-grown meat will bring an end to the high environmental impact of the present meat industry. And then UC Davis research rained on their parade. They reported the impact of lab-grown meat is likely to be orders of magnitude higher than the real thing. Lots of consumers are apparently averse to their chicken having a steel vat for a mother. But not to worry, the USDA gave the industry $10 million of your money to address consumer acceptance. Now, I'm just wondering, should we be genetically modifying meat of animals that took hundreds of thousands of years to develop into a favorite menu item? Is it just me, or is that arrogance that's likely to end in tears?
Children born after 1980 are not expected to outlive their parents.
1980?
1980.
Bye-bye, Daniel.
That's me.
You're cold.
I don't know why we've got more It's not one cause, one effect. We have done a number on our planet, especially in the last 150, 200 years.
What do you think are the biggest offenders?
Well, the biggest offenders, I call them the three big things that have happened since World War II. So more sugar in our diets than we've ever had. So in the 1850s, average of 5 pounds of sugar per person per year. Now it's 145 to 175 pounds of sugar per person per year. We just put it in everything. You can't even get toothpaste without sugar, right? It's like ironic. Number two, we changed our farming and ranching practices in a big way. We've destroyed our soil. We've destroyed our topsoil from overtilling. We've destroyed our minerals in the soil from over chemicalizing, from monocropping. We've destroyed our animals from pumping them up with hormones to get them to market faster, pumping them up with antibiotics because we're cramming into completely inhumane environments. So all of these things have contributed. And then the third piece is the chemicals. So we have over 80,000 chemicals that have been introduced to our environment since the 1960s, of which less than a few hundred have been properly tested. And none of them have been properly tested in how they interact with each other. So we're swimming in a...
This is the biggest problem. America is going to be the poorest country in the world starting now. You're going to see the biggest crashes happening right now. But what shocks most people is America never had slums like that. Today, slums are everywhere across America.
Really?
Yeah, Biden has done more damage to the world than any other president in history. He took off the Keystone Pipeline between Canada and America.
Okay.
I own oil wells. I was selling oil for $30 US a barrel. Biden came to office, oil went from $30 a barrel to $130 a barrel. He was making oil so expensive, it would wipe out the middle class.
Blow your mind again. Ready?
Yeah, let me hear.
Check this out. Disney. Do you know why Disney characters wear gloves?
No. Why?
Check this out. The gloves Disney characters wear, it's resemblance to...
Disney characters don't have gloves on, bro.
What are you talking about? Disney characters don't have gloves.
Like, what do you mean?
Look at Mickey,
Goofy,
whoever in that crew.
Okay, so
they wear gloves. They wear gloves,
okay.
right? You're familiar with those gloves, right?
Yeah.
Mickey's wearing those gloves. It has like the 3 lines on it.
The infamous...
Yeah, the infamous gloves. Interesting. Why those gloves and why those 3 lines?
Okay.
Check this out. These gloves are the same gloves of the Freemasons.
No!
Of the Freemasons, bro.
No way.
That's why Mickey and all those random characters on Disney, fam, they all wear those gloves, bro. Look at it. Those are the Freemason gloves. That's why they have the 3 lines on it. Specifically those 3 lines. Where have we ever seen gloves with those 3 lines?
No.
Ever. It's not even like a regular thing. They're literally Freemason gloves. Crazy.
That
right?
blows my mind. That blows my mind.
Crazy.
Ain't no way. Yeah, that one was a mind-blowing one. I have never heard that theory. Is this only new for me? Did y'all know that? Dang, they was not playing when they said Disney is on some stuff. I'm sorry, I'm just so mind-blown. That really caught me off guard. I didn't expect for him to say that.
When Jesus was in the tomb, and you know how he left the tomb because he came back to life?
Yeah.
There was a cloth that was folded and left on where he was resting, like his body was resting.
Yeah.
And scholars are wondering, why did the scripture specifically have to point out, and he left the cloth folded on a place of where he was sleeping? Check this out. So in Hebrew tradition, right, there's the servant and there's obviously the master. And usually what happens is the servant, when the master is eating, there would be a cloth. Now, if the master would fold the cloth and leave it on the table, the servant would clean up the whole table, but you would leave what's being used by the master. Why? Because the folded cloth means he's coming back.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna return to the table.
Yeah.
So Jesus leaving the cloth means he's coming back.
I think the reading I read, he's like, oh yeah, don't let any of these people who slander the name of mine get into your head, I will come back and stuff like that. But that was in the last page.
Yeah.
He's like, soon I will come back, blah blah blah, don't let them slander. It was crazy.
Princess Diana, right?
Yeah.
She's the wife of the king right now.
Yeah.
Literally, what's his name? King Charles. Literally the king right now. So before, when she was still a princess and Prince Charles was still a prince, there was claims that Princess Diana used to cheat on him with many men.
Damn.
That
sucks.
But also, Prince Charles used to have affairs also.
Oh, so they both were cheaters?
They both were cheating.
Okay. So
anyways, they got divorced, right?
Yeah.
And after the divorce, the royal family was going to give her security, right? Because she used to be part of the royal family.
Okay.
If she goes out in the public, she's still like associated somehow.
Yeah.
Needs some security. She denied all of it, right? And she started dating this guy. I think his last name is Fayed, right?
Okay.
Fayed. So her and Fayed in a car accident, literally 5 minutes away from the hotel room, right?
Oh, shit.
Now this is what's crazy. Princess Diana, she wrote a note before she died, and it was supposed to go to her trusted butler. And in the note it said, my husband, aka Prince Charles at the time, is trying to kill me, and he is planning a malfunction in my car.
Some company secrets that they definitely don't want you knowing about. Sprite changed their bottle from green to clear specifically to make it harder for you to spot them in landfills. Every single retail store's clothes you buy are dirty. There's no way for them to wash or disinfect them after they get off the truck or when they get returned. Olive Garden breadsticks are just store-bought Franz brand breadsticks covered in margarine. Credit card companies frequently change your ARP without even telling you, but they'll do it 3 or 4 decimal places out so you don't notice. So instead of charging 15.99%, they'll charge you 15.9994%, which doesn't seem like a lot, but if they do it to all their customers, they earn so much money. Unless your dog got into a fight, dog boarders and groomers are just going to tell you they were a good boy or girl, even if they weren't. Casino security cameras can see everything, down to the dots on a dice.
Oh, wow.
And their policy is to not look down women's blouses, but 80% of audits result in a return, which is somehow comforting but also terrifying. Teachers are so burnt out that they'd rather give a student a passing grade than deal with the whole process of holding them back.
Good.
Earth is round, not flat.
Okay, Pastor Vlad, let's hear it.
Common sense arguments that the Earth is not flat. Well, we have pictures of the Earth from space.
First argument, false. The most famous photograph from space is the quote-unquote blue marble. A photograph of Earth taken on December 7th, 1972 from 29,400 kilometers from the planet's surface. NASA's website will actually tell us how they made this image, and no, it's not a photograph. Type in Robert Simon Mr. Blue Marble on Google and this link is going to pop up. This is straight from nasa.gov. He tells you his role is to make imagery from Earth science data. To make imagery. They don't take these photos, they make them.
Got that.
By 2002, we finally had enough data to make a snapshot of the entire Earth. The hard part was creating a flat map of the Earth's surface with 4 months of satellite data. By the way, all satellites are on balloons, because there's no such thing as outer space. Then we wrapped the flat map around a ball. My part was integrating the surface, the clouds, the oceans to match people's expectations of how Earth looks from space. That ball became the famous blue marble. So there's NASA themselves telling you these are fake photographs.
They just be telling
that
us.
they created.
Picture this, you're on the beach and you can see a ship gradually appear on the horizon. You can also enjoy watching the sunset. If you climb on the tree quickly, you'll be able to see the sunset all over again.
Completely false. This is actually due to something called perspective, or the law of perspective. The further something gets away, like these telephone poles, the shorter they're gonna get, and they're gonna look like they're shrinking. And eventually it hits this vanishing point. But if you were to zoom in with the Nikon P1000 camera, you will see that it reappears. Same reason when airplanes fly overhead, they appear very high in the sky when they're right over you, but when they get further away, they get lower and lower, or they appear to get lower and lower, and then they actually disappear. Here are some boats that supposedly went over the curvature, but when he zooms in with this high-powered camera, you can see they just reappeared, and the farther he zooms in, they all come into frame. None of them are even slightly below the curvature, and these boats are all different distances away.
That's a great camera.
Here's a video of the sun where it actually appears to already be setting on the horizon, but when you zoom in with the Nikon camera, as you can see, it starts to all come back into frame because it's actually just getting further away from you. It's not setting below anything. We're not on a globe. The Earth is flat. And as you can see, as he zooms back out, it goes right back down.
The reason why New York and London have different times is because it's a daytime in one place, it's a nighttime in the other. This happens because the Earth is round, not flat.
Psalm 19 verse 4, in them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it. Right, so like the word says, the sun is going in a circuit, which is why he compared it to a strong man running a race. When you run a race in a racetrack, you go in circles. And the sun shines on one spot at a time, which is why we get night and day.
Well, gravity pulls everything toward the center, making planets naturally form into round shapes, not flat ones. This is the fundamental law of physics, consistent throughout the universe.
Just another blatant lie. Gravity is actually still a theory. It's never been proven as a fact. It is not a law. The reason this leaf falls to the ground when I drop it is because the leaf is more dense than the air that I dropped it in. But when it hits something that is more dense than the leaf, it's going to stop. This is the law of density and buoyancy. It has nothing to do with a magical force called gravity. So we've gone ahead and compiled all this into the True Earth book for you guys, so that way your mind can be freed from the lies. You can download it right now in my profile. I'll see you guys in the next video. Shalom.
You were studied, so study who studied you. Simple. Oh man, you said the white man is superior. No, he's not. But his method worked. Simple as that. You lost your knowledge.
Still working.
And it's still working. You lost your knowledge. Come on, man. I think about this. If there is a millionaire and he's white or whatever, I really don't care too much at that point. I care about the fact that you're a millionaire and I want to be a millionaire. So let me study you. See, a wise man can study. He'll sit back and learn and ask questions. I talk to people of all races, all backgrounds, all religions, all ethnicities, cultural persuasions, and I talk to them. I ask them questions. People start looking at me like, how can you say that? How do you move that way? Damn, how did you know that? Because I actually study this. I study them because I look at how the people studied us, bro. They studied us. They are the #1 consumers. They studied us. They like chicken. They like watermelon. They like dancing. They like hair extensions and nails. They like flashy cars and jewelry. They study, and what do? They provide the need based off of research. They like, damn, y'all like these cars and this jewelry. Let me control the diamond trade. Let me control the large manufacturing trade of vehicles. My family will own it, and I will make sure it gets provided to you because you ain't never had nothing that was too flossy, too much bling bling.
Can I bring up that quote one more time? You were studied, so study who studied you. That probably was the most deepest video I've ever seen in my entire life.
Senate of Rome is now the Cardinals of Rome.
Didn't they assassinate Caesar? Were they the ones who were behind the assassination?
Because he was a popular hero, JC, the ruler of our calendar, which we call Anno Domini, and most Christians think it's the other JC, Jesus Christ calendar. It's not, it's Julio calendar. And Anno Domini, the Lord, Domini, was his son, Augustus. He was the Lord, he was the son of God. They proclaimed him a god because he was so good to the popular people. He was a popular hero. Think about it. Francesco Carotta, an Italian writer, he's discovered that Jesus is Julius Caesar. Brutus betrayed Julius, Judas betrayed Jesus. Wow. Both died on the Ides of March. Both crossed the river, one the Rubicon, one the Jordan. Both were famous for having to do with a town called Capernaum. Both were popular heroes. The list goes on and on and on. And we still have the Anno Domini, the AD calendar. Well, who is this Lord? Well, it's JC. Julius Caesar, in one capacity, is Jesus Christ. That's what they do. Yeah, that's what they do.
Where is this?
Propaganda machine literally is pushing to destroy the family dynamic. They're investing a lot of money in it, a lot of time in it. The reality is, as you said, No, the numbers don't reflect it. The talent doesn't reflect it because the people's taste buds are now starting to taste what this crap really is. See, when you force feed somebody something, eventually they start to throw up. Yeah. Because it's like, whoa. Yeah, I can taste it. Right now, Sexy Red, it's obvious that she was pushed along with a lot of other people. Again, we love our people. Many of them are very ignorant to the fact that they're being used. They think that, oh man, this money coming in, these contracts coming in, these new gigs is coming in, they must like it. No, the reality is you are being used for an agenda. The consumer is being told what to consume. The people are easily led in the wrong direction, hard to lead into the right direction. They don't even know what they like half the time. But if they get bombarded with the propaganda over and over again, like this, eventually they're going to like it. What did Joseph Goebbels say? I believe he was the chief propagandist under Adolf Hitler. He said, if you tell a lie big enough, long enough, the people will come to believe it. And the same thing happens when it comes to music. Same thing happens when it comes to fashion. You put a big paper bag over your whole body and say, this is new fashion, it's $1,000. People gonna say, well, damn, I'm gonna pay $1,000 because that's fashion. No, it's a big paper bag. He must be crazy if you're gonna wear that. You see what I'm saying? So we have to make it to where the people, which they are doing now, and if you read the comments under the majority of these posts, when it comes to a lot of these artists, they like garbage, hot garbage. Why are they pushing this person? What's going on? That's why I have a lot of these new artists who they're not even able to make it to 3 years, because they never had the real motive, and they were also given false hope and this false sense of, I'm actually doing something real good. I got some substance, when they don't. They were purposely put there. They were purposely manipulated to believe that the negative they're pushing out is what the people want. That's why a lot of them are quitting, from Saweetie all the way down. A lot of them, their album sales are terrible. And they're also trying to keep them afloat by having them go and visit the White House or go to certain schools. And the people are like, that's not a black representative. That may be a black artist, maybe, but that's not somebody who represents us. So again, we love our people, regardless of the artists and all that, but we have to always remember the fact that when this system is trying to control a people, they use the artists and the leaders to do it, and they manipulate the people to believe that that's who you should follow. That's how this is going right now.
If anything, with this reaction, I learned a lot more than speaking on. I was actually more all ears than all voice, if I'm saying that right. Really took in some stuff that was said in these videos. But I want to give a shout out to Bino. I want to give a shout out to Alexandria. I want to give a shout out to Orlandis. And then the last shout out goes to Mike. These are the videos that I just reacted to today. So don't think that I'm done with shout outs. Trust me, I have a long list to go. But I'm so grateful because you guys are really sending me stuff. And it's so much videos. Like, I'm like backed up. But if anything, I'm trying to react to more videos and talk less so that I can catch up. But hey, you know, if the Ruach move, the Ruach move. Yahuwah want me to say some stuff, or he just want me to be quiet. He may want me to hear, he may want me to speak. It's just how he moves and how he operates. But I truly do appreciate each and every single one of you guys. This was really a great video. Like I said, I learned so much. And I do want to say, always with these videos, do your research. You don't have to go off of what's on here. You don't have to go off of what is said through me. Do your research. And that was one of the videos, is about research and study the people, study those who studied you. So just study to show yourself approved. Just keep reading. Knowledge and wisdom never die. So thank you again for all those that sent in videos. Thank you for all the people that are just now joining the Discord. If you want to know how to join the Discord, all you have to do is click the link in my description. It will say join the Discord or add it. Whatever I have in the description is how you add the Discord. And the Discord is just a really cool server where it's very set apart, it's very humble, and it's very chill. We have a lot of stuff over there. I don't want to ruin it too much. I would rather you guys join than for me to speak about it, because I'm very big on, I'm not going to talk my actions, I'm just going to talk for me, in other words. I want to give all praises to my Saba Yahuwah Lua, my Abba, my Adoni Yahusha Hamashiach, for blessing me with everything as a whole. I don't know why my voice sounds like this. I'm not sick. We rebuke that in the name of Yahusha Hamashiach. I don't know what happened. It's cool though, because this video will still, and I'm still gonna keep reacting. So the show must go on, in other words, is what I'm trying to say. But thank you for Abba and Saba for working in and through me, for blessing me. At the end of the day, I'm just a vessel that they're working in and through. So I gotta give credit and honor where it is due. I want to thank you guys again in advance. Thank you guys for all the likes, the comments, subscribing, the buying the merch, watching, stopping me in person. Like literally, I thank you for all that you guys are doing. All you guys are doing. I truly, truly, truly appreciate each and every single one of you. I do. Thank you for those that have been buying and supporting the merch. Again, if you want the merch, shop Perkyy.com. Go ahead and buy you some lovely, righteous, set-apart merch that is going to be glorifying to the body. If you happen to buy from me, please take a picture and tag me in it so that I can shout you out and post you on my website. But that is all for today's video, y'all. Y'all have a blessed one. I'll see y'all in the next one. Shalom, shalom.
You can't bring me down. I know who I belong to. Yeah. What? I won't sell my soul. I know my worth.